Hello and welcome to some Dyson Sphere Program. My name is Trismegistus and I was doing some work 5 minutes ago. I rushed into this. The keying was atrocious, which is why there's all this weird stuff on the top there. But that's because it's a sunny day, which is a real shame, because I would have quite liked to have gone for a nice long walk. But I've been working instead. Enough moaning, let's get playing, shall we? So, it's quite loud there. I think it's okay on the stream. So we'll load the game up, and clouds, load game. Right, and I'll just make sure, again, if we fly about, that was a bit stuttery, wasn't it? I'm just checking the performance basically because I had some issues last time. I've not changed any. Oh, why does it do this mouse grabbing thing? Didn't have any issues last time with the change settings, but you never know. Just trying to keep talking so that I can see my lips moving and check if it's stuttering. It's not doing brilliantly, is it? Okay. I wonder if I could turn down... AA's off. Okay. I'll keep checking on that then, because this... I don't think the others make a great deal of difference. It's really the AA that was the problem. Okay, let's just crack on. So last time... we kind of set up everything we'd researched, and also got red cubes on the go. We have just done an extra vertical layer, which is good. Oh, I got fire ash from the planet, didn't I? That's right. Not planet. Well, yeah, planet. The gas giant. So, what we need to do really is work our way up to interplanetary logistics. But we've got to get planetary logistics before we even do that. So, I think it is literally just dependent on that, which is red. And now it does require thruster. Okay. Thruster. Where's thruster? Down here. So we need hydrogen fuel rods. And we need thrusters. That's for interplanetary, so we might as well queue that one up as well. And I think that's it. That's what we're going to do, is it? Yeah, Q4. Okay. Because we do want these buffs, really. Particularly if we're going to be flying around. But what we can do is attempt to get to the other planet, kind of in the... or one of the other planets. In the meantime, we probably want to take plenty of fuel with us. Oh, it's charging up. Have I got a debris? Let's pop that on. Let's charge up a bit quicker. Yes, and what we want to do, basically, or what I normally do, maybe this isn't the best strategy, I don't know, but what I normally do is take a bunch of stuff with me in order to be able to build a little outpost, effectively, on the planet. And that involves, usually, a bunch of wind turbines. We should also really set up some solar panel production because it's not on here, and hopefully the planet we'll be going to will have wind, but some of them don't. Some of them are just sort of barren rocks, so without atmosphere. So ideally we want to set up a little bit of solar panel production as well, which is copper. Yeah, so we need some silicon, and we can make silicon from silicon rocks, which we can actually get from stone, basically. So you have this sort of sneaky way of producing a few of those without, because the planet will go. There's no natural silicon on here, which is weird because the entire most planets are basically rocky planets are basically made from silicon, but we shall let that slide. Does that... Oh, it's too close. Okay. So we want another one of them, but there. And then we want that. We're doing another power thingy somewhere up here, but we'll see. Might need to fill this in a bit, mightn't I? Like so. So I say, let's see how close. Because that's going to make silicon, and then this is going to make solar panel. Oops, no it isn't. Solar panels. So we need to hook all of this up, like so. And then we need a little chesticle there. Is that too close? Nope, it's happy with that. We'll only do a stack, I think they stack to like 20, which is usually fine. It's really just to have some power there. We don't really care if the actual machines that we place sort of run at half speed or anything. I think it's circuits as well, isn't it? Yeah. So it's not about, you know, super production, because we'll have to manually ferry the titanium as well, and the more volume production of silicon back to this planet by hand, basically. So what we kind of want is more inventory room rather than. I might just get rid of that. Oh, it didn't do it like that anymore, does it? Okay. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be useful because we should be able to get hydrogen fuel rods on the go, which, you know, if we can get interplanetary, well, we'll get hydrogen out of oil. So, you know, if we can bring a load of silicon back, rather titanium back, we can make a bunch of them, and they're quite good power sources to use in the mech and stuff. What I need to check is what speed we're running at. That's quite slow, isn't it? But that's fine. Yeah, the ratios aren't great when you're using it. It's deliberately, because you need like 10, you know, stone to make a thing, so it's fine. And then it's like 10 per, yeah. So it's really rubbish, but we'll just leave it running basically, and hopefully eventually it'll make us a handful. But yeah, I need to stock up basically. This seems to be very slow. Let's see if we can kind of see why. So I could come along and sort of increase some of these, couldn't I? Because I did the extra stacking, but I don't know how high I stacked it. Offhand. Just going to turn my desk fan on. Hang on. So it's all a bit of a rush. One of the things I said. So when I first joined this company, when I started this job, there was just this sudden. There seemed to be this sudden, massive expectation that I was gonna work like ridiculous hours, you know, like work weekends and all this sort of stuff. Because I think I've had this moan before, but the person, you know, who hired me, who had the job before, they were basically a workaholic. How can I do 3? Yes, there we go. So that should use up what we actually built these to produce, hopefully. So it should all go a little bit quicker. We might have to increase the amount of inserters because they kind of burn through it quite quickly. And I think, is it an off ratio? Oh no, 2 to 2. Okay. But this is having to go further, so it's sort of net slower. So yeah, it might need an extra fast one on there, and same here. We get the cubes in. Yep, so that one's running now. There you go, you see. And now our only issue is whether these actually, because they're obviously level 1 machines, so they don't actually run at the rate I've calculated. They run at 3/4 of the speed. but that's fine. If it's not sciencing because it's run out of stuff on the belts, then that's, you know, that's not an issue. Okay. Let's have a think what we want to take to this other planet then. So we'll have a run along our, let's call it a bus. It's not really a bus, but our production system. And I usually do a couple of trips back and forth. To sort of ferry the resources over, really, or ferry things like this over. Do I want to take regular magnets around with me all the time now? That I guess I should, because it's occasionally a thing you need to build that doesn't have them, but we can top that off. Actually, did I have? Yeah, I got excess of them, haven't I? I think we'll go and stick them in one of our dump chests, if we've got a dump chest. We don't need 2 sets of glass. So I guess these are all sort of dump chest things, really, aren't they, rather than stuff I need to have with me. Do we need... I guess if we take 300 copper and... you know... Oh, let's not take 300 copper. Let's take 2. And ideally maybe a third one of them. And then engines we've done. Let's take kind of as many belts as we can. The inserters. Where did they go? There they are. Power poles. Worth having a half stack, I think. I am getting some stutter on this in the actual game. What's it doing for you guys? It's no worse than I'm getting. I wonder why it suddenly started stuttering. Maybe it's because I've ramped up science or something. I've got 50 of them, or 31 of them already, so I don't really need them. We will take loads of these, because they're always worth having plenty of. Do I really want? Yeah, let's take all of them. And then same with smelters, because that's really what we're going to be doing. We want 100 of them. Again, as I say, hopefully going to be running our new base on solar. Do I have any steel? I think oh, I do. Sorry, didn't need that then. But yeah, I need an entire stack of landfill. Because usually the planets have some big sort of divots in them, basically. And then we don't really need them. Oh, I've got that separate steel one there. But stone, we'll take 2 stacks of stone, because it's one of those that when you need it, you need a lot of it. And then prisms we've got. Now, thermal generation. I noticed that the planet didn't seem to have coal on it that I was thinking of going to, which is interesting, because I always thought they gave you a little bit of coal to help you kickstart. See, we've made 2 solar panels. Help you kickstart your production. We don't really need chemical plants or oil or anything like that, so I'll actually put them away. But I might just sort of have sort of a bit of a stack of them. In fact, why don't I take all of them? Might as well. And we can actually open that up so that it does actually pull some from the belt now. We don't need fluids, so I'll have to. We don't really want this counter thing. We'll take the hydrogen just in case. But yeah, we need to find if I've got a dump chest, basically. Have I got a chest? Oh, here we go. Got some dump chests here. Right, so that's a load of raw rubbish, isn't it? So can I get any of that in there? The stone. Oh, look, we've got silicon there. Might try and stick that in the smelter over here. Guessing that's from when I've been digging up rocks, basically. Getting in there. It won't let you put them in output in this, will it? No. Okay. That'll help. That'll speed things up a tiny bit. Because that's the slow part in this. Right, put that back in there. I think I was going to tidy up, wasn't I? That was one of the things I said I was going to do, but clearly I've not. Let's grab them. Make sure we have a full stack of that. Okay. Anything we want, so we can get rid of this and that. So if we put a new, wait, put that in the wrong place, haven't I? Yeah. So put those two in there. Right. It's got a bit of iron, bit of copper, bit of stone. We need carbon. And got some of the rest of bits and pieces. These are nice full stacks. Got that. Okay, so how much carbon? Where have I got carbon that I can just grab? I thought I was burning it somewhere, wasn't I? Up here? There we go. Have I put it in a chest? Yes, here we go. So let's see what this is. Hello again, Ultimate Place, how are you doing? So lots and lots of carbon. Okay, let's see if we can do a round trip up to the old other planet. It might be a bit slow because we're still basic mech. Have I got... No, I forgot to pick that up, didn't I? Let's see how many of these... Oh, I've got 5 now, that's better. Right. So we'll charge up. And then we'll grab this, because you can use that to recharge, basically. Right, so this is obviously our gas giant, so there's no solid stuff on there. It's all like fire, ice and hydrogen. We've then got Chew 3, which is a barren desert, and that's got iron ore. You see it's got 0 coal. I'm saying they must have changed how they did that, because it always used to have a little bit of coal on every planet to get you running, but tons of stone. Okay, what about Chew 4? Oh, there you go. So that has got coal. It's a long way away, though. You can actually wait. I mean, obviously these planets are orbiting around this sun, so you can actually wait for, like you would do in, like in the real world, where you would try and, you know, do the shortest, well, try and get the journey to work with whatever momentum you had. So, you know, coming off here and going around the sun, but it doesn't really do gravitational acceleration. So, okay. So you can just sort of, well, you also can just fly straight to where you want to, really. So let's try and get to there. Oh, bad joke. I forgot to put that on there. Bad joke. I did actually prep a list when I put that on. That was ages ago. So I've forgotten to put them on. I prepped a list because I was a bit worried that if people did pick it, I'd go completely blank, which is what I've done. I might have just got rid of it. Where would I put it? Not in there, is it? No. No, I can't find my list of bad jokes that I put together. Let's do a search for one. You caught me there. You caught me there. I'd completely forgotten I put that on. Oh, look at the bloody green screen. Let's do a I'm not even sure how much I actually did that for. There we go. Just the silly bad jokes. What's the silly bad joke then? What do you call a fish wearing a bow tie? Sophisticated. That's more of a pun than a joke, isn't it, really? Oh, there you go. So, one that's quite appropriate. What do you call a factory that makes okay products? A satisfactory. Not quite the game I'm playing, but in the territory. There you go. I forgot what was on there, I must say. Right, let's see if we can't get to Chew 4. There should be a timer, so you're not going to, unless you can get around it as a mod. So hopefully, it's going to be a little bit of a reprieve in terms of thinking of a different one. I'll have to see what I did to my list that I put together. I can tell you one of the ones I always sort of roll out. But I know I've said it before. Oh dear, that's stuttery, isn't it? Ooh. 4.86 AU, that is going to take a little while. Andreas Milter, welcome back. I don't know it, but it kind of looks like 3D Factorio space exploration. Yeah, so Dyson Sphere Program. I don't know if you know what a Dyson Sphere is. The idea is it's a structure built around the sun that captures all of the energy that the sun produces. So, infrared and ultraviolet, all of the energy coming out of it. If you think in terms of a gigantic solar panel that wraps entirely around the sun. So the aim in this game is to build one of those. It's obviously gamified, it's not realistic. But the idea is that you research your way up to... Can I get a bit faster? Yeah. You research your way up a tech tree, and it gives you all sorts of sort of realistic techs, and then also goes a bit fantastical. And you do this up here where you produce so the Dyson Sphere components which you launch out of rockets. So that's the kind of aim of the game. It is very similar to Factorio, particularly in terms of like the resources you're producing. So iron and copper and steel and all that sort of basic stuff, although it has a lot of its own systems. And research is a similar sort of idea where you're producing these red cubes instead of, potions, like you do in Factorio. But basically, if I can do this, we're miles away. You start on a solar system, and typically you would try and build your Dyson Sphere around that. But we have an entire galactic cluster to play with, and it gives you like unusual types of planets like black holes and neutron stars, but you also get lots of, these are in a sense correct, as it were, as in they're a B-type star and a F-type star are how they classify stars, and so you get blue giants and what we've got, I think there's red dwarfs and all sorts of things like that, and they all have different ratios of resources, different types of material. And the equivalent of a mega base in Factorio, let's just check I'm not flying off into the void, is to build Dyson Spheres around all of your planets. So you would build around all of those. But the logistics, like the equivalent of trains sort of thing, is basically bots flying between all of these planets, and they use warping, to cover the big distances and all that sort of stuff. It really... I have to do it the cooldown. Okay. Oh, the joke one. Yeah, as I say, there's a bit of a cooldown on that because I didn't. I think I at least protected myself a little bit in that, because you could come in and build up a load of points and get me to tell 10 of them, and I'd sort of run out very quickly. But say I sort of I I'd completely forgotten I'd left it on, to be honest with you, because it's really weird telling jokes when there's no reaction. Well, you know, be it, you know, I wouldn't expect you to laugh type of thing. They're not that sort of joke, but bang. But oh, look at this! We've changed the art. Universe exploration. You crossed a distance of 5 AUs, landed on the planet Q4, took the first step towards the exploration of the universe, the vastness of space. An interstellar journey, everything is wonderful. What does it count? Oh, it just counts as rock, does it? Okay. Same with that. Okay. They did like update a lot of the art, so these didn't used to be these sorts of structures before. That's quite interesting. But yes, we should have some resources on this planet. In particular, titanium. So there's our coal vein. So that should let us get going. And what we essentially need to do is just set up a little bit of smelting of of titanium and silicon. And then we have to ferry it back and forth manually, unless somebody's worked out a way of getting around that. Because there's no titanium on our home planet, apart from you get ever so slightly tiny amounts when you mine rocks. And you can make silicon, but it's staggeringly inefficient. So what we need to use is silicon and titanium in the researches that are coming up, and also some of the materials. So the idea is that this is you starting to produce your, logistics system across all the planets. So this is at the planetary level. This is the interplanetary level. But what we'll get first is planetary level logistics. So those are like direct transfers between. It's like roboports and chests, effectively, all sort of rolled into one factory. It was funny. Oh, good. Yeah, so that's the first one, and then we'll work up to this one. But you see, this one requires yellow cubes, and yellow cubes, those two things there, the sort of diamond and the other one, so the second one is a titanium crystal, basically. So that's why we need lots of titanium. So effectively, in order to get this research, you have to already be moving between planets, even though this is the hub for bots to move between planets, basically. So yeah, this is where we need to be heading. But for now, we'll sort of focus on the planetary logistics system. So what would I need to get there? I would need to do that one, obviously. And then we'd need to be in this territory. Okay. Oh, I've not done titanium smelting. Whoops. Okay, I need to prioritise that then, because unless we, could I even get rid of that? Yeah, let's get rid of that as well. Unless we can smelt titanium, there's no point being on this planet. I'd forgotten you needed that research. This is a new thing, distribution logistics system. And I don't know how it works, so we'll have to investigate that. But you see it requires, so these things, you see it requires that like yellow square thing. That's basically like a silicon chip, so we need lots of silicon to produce them. So yeah. Where's thruster? Where was thruster? Oh, actually, let's do the upgrades first. Where was I? On them, so I hadn't done that one. Which was the one I was working on? Was it the speed? No. Yeah. I thought I was still doing some upgrades. Yeah, we need yellow for that though. It's a great game. It's made by a small Chinese studio. And they're currently working on a combat system. Andrew Smelter was thinking you could make a Factorio multiplayer server. Yeah, I mean that was a goal at one point. I'm still not against doing it, as it were, but unfortunately my job, the new job I've taken, is incredibly hard work. I was working 5 minutes before this stream. Which I'm not enjoying, if I'm totally honest, and I probably need to look for another job, even though I've just moved. But yeah, it's sort of a lot of my plans of what I wanted to do. So I need thrust done. I'm looking in the wrong place. Here we go. I didn't really, start. It's like I bought a hosting package thing for a website, and I was going to just use their templates basically to make a little website. Right, so we got titanium smelting, so the whole point of coming here is now not rendered redundant. But yeah, so I sort of that is something I want to do, but I've not quite done it yet. I was going to look and see if there was some wind, wasn't I? Where's the North Pole there? What is my dream job? Crikey. Now you've asked a question. What would be my dream job? I can't remember how I space these out normally. I think it's this line? No? My dream job, I think, in reality, would be to not have a job at all. If I could just play games all day. And I know people do have jobs, streamer is that you could say is their job, but it's not actually all that easy in a sense, streaming. I say I'm not pretending I'm a good one, but there is a lot of skill to being a good streamer. So it is, it is a job or something, like a YouTuber. You've got to write video scripts and do all editing and all that sort of stuff. So I'm not sure I'd call them a dream job. But yeah, I think my dream job would be to be fabulously wealthy and not have to work. Which isn't quite an answer to your question, is it? I think I'd quite enjoy being an editor, which is a very weird sort of job to suggest. Is it? No, it's not that, is it? I can never remember. I might have a blueprint somewhere that's got it on. No? No. I remember it being quite large. Ah, there we go. Unless I've... Oh, that's not... Let's do that again. Is it here? No. Let's just put some on. Stop messing about. It's spaced out so that there we go. I get that. What's your dream job then? I suppose I know you're a big fan of model railways. I imagine if that extends to real trains. Okay. Right. I may do it with a meal of that. Because what I normally do is I would normally build them along these solid lines here, and then it gives you sort of a free a network of power that is also then free, if you see what I mean. So where would that be? That'd be there. So if we try and put one there, there we go. Let's see if that reaches down. Because we just need it to be near some silicon and titanium, I don't actually need to build.
When being outside of building range,
When being
you can
outside
hold
of
down the
building
shift key and use the right mouse button to click on the open space to control the mecha to move.
But yeah, you know, a hobby I never really... Something I really enjoy doing is writing. So, both technical writing, like as in, you know, reports and stuff like that. But also, you know, fiction type writing. But I'm not actually that good at fiction writing. I just sort of enjoy doing it, if you see what I mean. So I wouldn't want to try to be an author or anything like that. But I do enjoy it. And I kind of figure out what I do also enjoy particularly is what am I looking for? Looking for minors. Is editing things, you know, so as in reworking the text and all that sort of stuff so it's clearer, and finding, you know, spelling errors and all sorts of stuff like that. Shift that around like that. So yeah, I think I quite enjoy being an editor. I don't think it pays very well, but yeah. It's inconveniently shaped, isn't it? Let's just pop it in here somewhere. Two, 4, 6. Okay. So if we try and blend all of them together. Where would we do that? Maybe aim them for there. Can't remember how long a full silicon smelter array is. Titanium smelter array. So we need some boxes, or a box, or some box. Let's leave a little bit of room. A bit of a stack. Actually, it'd be on the other side, wouldn't it? Would be better. Let's just put some in for now, so I can set up all the... work out the maths, basically. So, titanium requires 2 bits every 2 seconds. So 1 bit a second, one rock, one titanium rock, makes half a titanium. And these take 6 a second, so we would need 12 to fill a belt. But we would need to supply it with 2 belts. Okay. We can do that, that's no problem. Easiest way of doing that, however, is probably to punt them back. Do something coming that way. And then put that there. In fact, I probably need higher level if it's coming across 2 things. And then in, out, in, out. So this is titanium. This is titanium. Actually, let's put that down there. That's way too much belt, isn't it? But because I only need 6. 1, 2, 3, 6. So when I first played this, they didn't have any kind of like that blueprinting or copying and pasting or anything like that, and you had to manually put down every machine and every inserter. And I actually never finished my first Dyson Sphere because the carpal tunnel was getting so bad from all the clicking that it was just kind of not worth continuing. So let's take that to there, that to there, like that. Hydrogen fuel rods. We're thumping through the research now. Put that there, I think. We want to go to there, basically. One more. Cool. And now I'll see how many of these we can sneak in. Like so. I bet these are too close for me to put. They are, aren't they? Bum. Let's rework that with some power bars in mind. You can actually get it to, if you hold shift, and I've forgotten, but you can get it to space them out so it accounts for the need to have power poles in it. But I forget it. I forget it. Oh. Oh, I put that too close anyway. Idiot. Put that there, there. And then a U. Yeah, I need a second level one on. I imagine, yeah, I've got a load of titanium rubbish in my inventory. Yeah, so this will just stack up. It fills them up from the bottom. So, and you can actually, I think, can you do that? I can't remember whether you can or not. If you have like multiple things, you can, well, if you don't build them so far away, too close rather. So you have them like feed in directly. It's quite cool, but it's one of the sort of problems of this game. It's got a lot of verticality to it. You know, you can build belts up in the sky and stuff. So if you just do this, it's not like Factorio where it's, you know, entirely flat. You can build floating structures and, you know, have like vertical buses and all sorts of stuff. The problem is a lot of it becomes so fiddly. Like if you're trying to place these belts underneath each other like this, it's just a nightmare. I mean, it does have blueprints now, so it's probably a bit better. But yeah, so you can do really cool things. But then everyone ends up just building everything flat. Partly because the planetary logistics that we'll get, they don't actually have any way of doing anything vertical. They're like a gigantic tower. And there's no way to do anything vertical with them, so everything ends up having to go into the bottom of the tower. And like these, you can't build these up in the air, you know, and you can't stack them on top of each other. You know, there's no stacking of machines. I'm surprised that's still not pulling them in. I guess I don't have any stacking bonus yet, so yeah, so the belt thing ends up becoming, I don't know how high you can get belts. There you go. Exceeded max height. So that's... There you go. That's the highest belt I can build. See, it's enormous. Out in space somewhere. But as I say, other than stopping belts from sort of crashing into each other, there's no actual point in doing it. Okay, so that's a titanium setup. I will probably set something up to burn some of this coal as well, because it's useful to have something on the actual planet providing stuff we can use. So pop that there, and then let's do it this way, like that. If I just put that too far, I put that too close. Let's put these in first. Only just, going to put a couple in. So it's just to produce something that will give us some, like emergency material. And that we can also burn as well. So if we chop that off, and then we put this in, like so. And set that on graphite. Put that in there and that out there. Copy that across. Box here. And then it's two. These are the small. There's bigger boxes as well. I'd forgotten. These are the small boxes. Oh, it's too close. Okay. Go. It's not a very smart system, is the only thing. It'll, unlike Factorio, where it sort of auto adjusts itself. This will just keep burning the coal, I think, from memory. We'll have to see. Bring that down. Pop you in there and see what it does. Oh, it's not got any power. Oh. Put that in there. There, you see it's burning it. Okay. So what I normally do, unless we need it, I just disconnect it usually. And then it's sort of ready to go without actually using up that coal. Right. Let's put some boxes in easily to findable places. Oh. Done it again. What's the timer on that then? What time does it say? So I could tell you, I mean, as you knew, Andreas, I could cheat and tell you one of the ones I roll out, which is what do you call a cross? No, that's wrong. I've forgotten now how the joke goes. Hang on. How the joke goes. Yeah, what do you get if you cross a kangaroo with a sheep? A woolly jumper. Again, I need, if I'm going to keep that on there, I need some sort of button I can press that does like a, an exaggerated laugh track or something. Because it's a bit weird saying a joke and not, not even getting a groan as a reaction sort of thing. Right. Let's see if I can't line them up. There we go. There. And then a little smidge of solar if we've got it as well. Always helps. Put it around there, I think. Like that. 2. Oh, I'll draw it as well. Well, I'm glad you're using the points. Not many people have particularly redeemed them, really. Why have I put a smelter on there? Right, so what we need to do is put some of the things, you know, that we'll use, you know, potentially later in this box. But before I do that, I should set up some silicon production. Now, I might need to landfill that lake, but we'll use this one here and set up basically the same thing. There's actually some, this is another thing, I was going to get some icons made, but again, it's like finding an artist, getting a quote, all that sort of stuff. It all takes time that I just don't have. So I've been trying to sort of put some ones together myself. Just, you know, really simple things. But again, you know, it's really difficult to get the time, really. Okay, so if we do the same, in fact, can I just copy that? If I just sort of, oh, I can't do it like that, can I? I have to do that first, and then grab this. You get a little difficulty with this because if you're doing it in a different area of the planet, like the size is different, like the gaps between the machines. You see how it doesn't like it, but it's because it's too close. It's sort of squishing them together as it moves around the planet. So we can hopefully build it sort of here, maybe. Oh, it won't. I don't like that because the smelter is in the way. Maybe I could build it over here, and then we'll just sort of reverse it. I don't know. Yeah, that would be okay, won't it? I'm just trying to think if the belts are okay. I'm not sure. I think you're going to use up all my water. I've only got a small glass. If you keep hammering that. But thank you for the reminder. The yeah, the belts are okay, aren't they? That way round. Yeah, okay. Right. So let's see if we can't hook this up because from memory. Titanium and silicon, it's the same 2, 2, 2. So we can basically just use the exact same setup. Like that. Now I can copy that one like that. Except I've done titanium because I'm an idiot. Okay. Cool. So have both of you played a lot of Factorio, or multiplayer Factorio, I mean? I was exploring options for it, but again, it's this thing of a lot of the different sort of providers, you know, there's different companies seem to charge really different amounts of money, like, you know, strangely different, if you see what I mean. So like a lot more expensive, or because there's one, it was like only like £10 a month, and that seemed like really good value. And another one, it was more like £50 a month. So I was a bit sort of, you know, seems to imply that sort of different levels of service maybe are sort of, you know, you'd have to do more of the setup yourself if you pay less money, sort of thing. But it all got a bit sort of complicated, shall we say. Is that enough? I might need a few more. Oh yeah, it's orange, okay. Let's put a few more in then. So, see if we can't take this down to the equator. That should give us enough juice. So, be there. Okay. Are you playing right now? Oh wow. Are you playing anything special or just... That's what I did. I remember now. In order to find where to put the wind turbines, I always start at the equator and work up. That's why I couldn't work out where it was. Right, well, let's go and find another bit. So just vanilla or you got any mods on? There we go. This here. Oops. Oh, 248K. Ah. And some other mods. A bit more mods, cool. How are you finding 248K? So there's someone I play multiplayer with, and at one point when that came out, I sort of almost suggested we play it, and I hadn't appreciated because it's quite clever because you can play it, you know, you can play through the normal game and then add it on, and it sort of works with it, or you can play in sort of overhaul mode, where you know it's different from the beginning. I'm telling you, and you're already playing it, but I hadn't realised when you play in, well, how complicated it is basically. Here we go. So this must be the line I normally use. But yeah, that's why I couldn't find it, because I usually go up from the equator, because that I think maybe it isn't. Would it be there? It's difficult to tell where the actual thing would be. So let's chop that off. Yeah, I think that would then end up in the centre. But yeah, we can put this here. Help us charge up a bit. Right, let's make sure we're full up. And then put some of these away, so put them back, out of the way. Just, in fact, we might as well put most of what we got here. Yeah, let's put... Oh! Why has it dumped out 41 cubes into my inventory? That's a bit weird. I guess that's because those have effectively teleported over from the home planet. That's a bit weird. That feels like a bug rather than a feature. Okay, so this is where we're trying to get to. But to do that, we would need the whatchamacallit thruster. We would need this, which requires yellow. Don't think we need that one, do we? But we would then also need the sort of mega thruster or whatever it calls it, reinforced thruster. Oh, that's just red. Okay, we could maybe make that then. We are going to need them. And them. Yeah, and then we're into the annoying chemical stuff. I mean, we could put something like that on. See if we can't get... There's the other crystal. Right. Let's finish this off. So I'll put another chest down. And put the raw stuff in. These are almost, it's like an emergency set of stuff. It's not really, these were, you know, used to build with. Put them in there. So the other stuff is like just, if we sort of suddenly find we've run out of something. And then, which, if I put the stuff in. Right, so we need to dump out that to there. We need to grab that. You see what I mean? I've got this weird thing, you know, chunk of what should we call it in there? Okay, so I've got a full inventory of titanium. So I might as well head back. I will drop that out. You can do a. Well, that's it's not interesting. Be interesting to see if they fixed it actually, because cool, it's stacking up. You used to be able to effectively cheat, because that is that entire thing of titanium in my hand. If I was to put it down though, it would like explode across the planet. And what you can do, you can still fly, and so you can effectively just grab like infinite amounts of stuff, and you're sort of holding it in your hand. The trouble is, as I say, if you accidentally misclick and, you know, effectively drop the items, then particularly if you're flying, planet ice giant, there we go. They're then in orbit, and they'll fly around your planet and stuff, and they're really difficult to collect. It's sort of bizarre. Bizarre thing. Cool. I'll have to sort of put down my dad jokes in case you guys come back and victimise me again. Right. Got all of that. Okay. Be useful to know if I can even. No, that requires yellow cubes, doesn't it? Okay. Can't do any of them. Well, it's purple, is it? Me too. Okay, so we need to get yellow cubes up and running, really, don't we? So, might have to rework this research queue. Okay. Let's do that then. Because we've got planetary logistics, right? Where's the next matrix? Oh, there it is. Okay, so to do that one, we need to go up there, don't we? But don't I also need that one? I do. Weird that that's not a dependency. Okay. Put it back on. You can unlock warping in this eventually, so because you know, as you can imagine, travelling at this, I mean, you can go a lot faster, sail speed. You can upgrade it all, but you know, if you were to try and travel, you know, over here at this speed, it would literally take you weeks. But it lets you do warping instead. It's quite cool. It's a really pretty animation. In fact, the whole game's really pretty. Turn the indicator off. But yeah, the next thing that will come out for it is a combat update. But because the game's 2 years old, early access. 2 years, and they did an update that said that a lot of the teams got COVID, so they're not, you know, not at full strength, but also 2 of them are married, I think, and having a baby. Because I'd anticipated the combat update coming out at the 2-year anniversary. So it looks like it's probably going to be later on this year instead. Right, nearly juiced up. So let's go and find this. Oh! It's instantly transferred them. Ah, I wonder if that's because that's on. So it's not teleporting, they were just sat in my inventory. In the mythical space it uses. Yeah, that's what it must have been. So the mythical non-existent space it uses to do research. Okay, so we got a bunch of titanium and we got a bunch of silicon. We can go over to the solar panels and give them some extra. That might be a little tricky. Let's in fact, let's put a second thing on here. I can't remember whether this game will let you take out the red zone. I think it does. So let's put a bunch of that in there and see what it does. So I think it does like Factorio. Let's see. Polymer. Cool. Now, are you going to work? Oh, it does. Cool. Okay, so that'll make some solar panels a bit quicker than we've been doing, because we've only made 16 in the entire time we've been away, which is not a lot. Now, I need to remember how yellow works, because I seem to recall the titanium crystals require organic stuff, don't they? And how do I actually make that? There you go, plastic. That's why I set up the plastic before. Okay, so we can use that plastic we've been making to make them, and then we can convert them into titanium with the titanium we've just brought in, and then the other bit to the cube is the diamonds, and the diamonds are just carbon. Yeah, okay. So not complicated. What's the production time on on a yellow cube? 8 seconds, okay. So let's go and get... In fact, we're probably better off putting all of this stuff in a chest somewhere. Over here. Except we can't because I've not got any chests because I forgot to pick some up. Let's use some of this up. Chest. Why am I carrying that around? Okay. Right. Get some chests. Like so. Head over here. So we'll probably have to do a couple of trips ferrying back and forth because it's just a weird quirk of the game, basically. So if we put them here, titanium in there, silicon in there, second one on top there. Obviously we'll put these where we need them rather than where I'm putting them now, but oh. So doesn't that robot have a Roblox walk animation? It could well do, I don't know. I'm afraid I don't know Roblox. I think there are... I mean, it could well be the other way around, that the Roblox one is just from a, you know, a library, basically. I always think... I mean, I'm not entirely sure that... it's sort of a fairly generic-looking mech. You can actually change the look of the mech. They give you a couple of customization options, so you can... In fact, should we put one of them on? Maybe, I don't know. I don't know if I was saying... There you see. So they do give you a few... I mean, you can, if you've got artistic talent, you can kind of build, you know... Because these are all like shapes that you can edit and adjust, but I have absolutely no talent for doing that at all. So, I say they do give options, but it looks like Bumblebee. Hello, TF, G&G. Get him out. Kind of looks like European. I say it could well be. I say I'm not familiar with. Oh, mineral field depleted. Deplete one vein. Okay. But it looks like Bumblebee, I think, from the new Transformers films. I don't know if it's just... Maybe it's just the yellow colour, but... Oh. Thank you very much for following. Oh, that's my goal mate as well. Thank you very much. That's very kind. But yeah, I think it looks a bit like Bumblebee. And so there are these other options you can pick, and it does give you a few. And if you've got actual sort of talent, so you can do them. I never know how to apply it, though. I don't usually bother. I normally just like recolour a few bits on the default one. In fact, is that... No, that's not the one I saved, but I usually go with a sort of a purpley one. So I never know how to actually apply it. Enable all, maybe? No? See, what does fold mean? Oh, revert to last, reset to default. Applying... Oh, I see, it's saying I've not got enough stuff, so I couldn't do it anyway. So if I just reset to default. There you go. And yeah, I normally just sort of colour in a few bits, because you can just go for these swatches and just sort of make it, say, purple. And then it's at least unique. There you go. Easy to go. Yeah, it's been, I think it's been a while, that one. 90. So yeah, well done on managing to hit that. Okay, let's stock up and we'll actually build some of these crystals. Not sure my brain's working properly today. I was kind of working not that long ago, so I'm not really paying a lot of attention. Maybe I should have called it a chilled stream, which I think is quite a good way of saying you're not paying full attention. Let's see. Grab some of them. Oops. Grab some of them. Get them. Have I got inserters? Yeah. Do that. Got enough belt. Power poles. Got them already. Those. About smelters. Get a stack of smelters. Stack or two of wind turbines. Some more landfill. Miners. In fact, I don't need 50 miners. I'm a Factorio player. Yeah. TFG&G, are you? Nope. But you can usually tell people that come from Factorio. Makes sense. Yeah. So me personally, I play all of them basically. But yeah, I started in Factorio, so yeah, you do tend to carry a lot of things over. In fact, if it's 8, I need 16. But yeah, I have played this through a couple of times, but it's a long time since I actually played it last. I was waiting for the big combat update. Am I going to need more of them? Might do. In fact, I probably will do. Let's take a few. Maybe 1 or 2 extra things to give me more organics, maybe. I'll have a stack of that. But yeah, so I mean, I've like 3,000 hours in Factorio. It's my favourite game ever, so I played it quite a lot. A bit too much, maybe. But yeah, I played Satisfactory and all sorts of other management games. I don't tend to stream other management games because, in fact, I don't really need them with me, do I? Because I'm not that good at them, so I tend to prefer just playing them in my spare time. Okay. So it's just and just a variety of games. I never played Factorio. Okay. Satisfactory is a good game. Look forward to the combat update. Yeah. So yeah. I think a few people are sort of nervous about it. If you see what I mean, then they're sort of not. Oh, we are low on power. Okay. That's odd. Why is that? Okay, let's put a bit more. In fact, I didn't pick them up, did I? See, my brain's just not working. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to the combat. The previews and stuff they've shown of it are really cool. It sounds like it's going to be like a swarm type enemy where it sort of colonizes planets, and they were saying that it sort of reacts to you, the player, as it were. So it only sort of starts attacking you if you get to a certain like tech level, I think. Are they all connected? No fuel. Okay. Cool. Right. I should really find some. I was going to build a bit of a wind farm, but I never actually did it, did I? So because this was me starting, but that's all I built. Where would be a good space? Maybe if I just sort of put it in this area so it's not too far away. Yeah, go on then, let's put a few in here. maybe. Yeah, anytime I hear about a mall, I know what that means. I think on 20 hours in factory, I see why you are good. Oh, thank you. Surely pick it up. I'm sure I'd like it, but the graphics annoy the hell out of me. Yeah, it's. I like the graphics, but they are. I mean, sort of a style called diesel punk, where it's meant to be like filthy and dirty and. Why are you not building there? Oh, it's too close. Okay. Yeah, and sort of, industrial and I say I did quite like that, but then I'm a bit sort of. Quite. How to phrase it? Beauty in bleak things is something that sort of has an appeal for me, which I know is a bit strange, but yeah, it's not the prettiest. You can get some mods that do make things a bit better looking. And I'm actually doing a series. It's on a little bit of a hiatus while I replay this, but you can get like Dectorio and stuff, but they're all very much in the style of the base game. So they're not really pretty as such. They're just sort of, it gives you coloured concrete and stuff, but it still looks like dirty, horrible concrete in Factorio. It's not pretty. Not like. I mean, I personally think this is, out of the three, sort of DSP, Factory and Satisfactory and Factorio, I'd say this, I think, is actually my favourite looking in terms of sort of prettiness. But Satisfactory is really good looking. Oh, idiot! Clicked the wrong thing. How are we doing with power now? That's a bit better, isn't it? Oh, cracking. Industry. So, industry shapes, you could try it. Don't already have them. What is your policy on providing tips? Do you mean providing tips to me? Or. Because I'm fine. I'm happy if you want a tip. All I would say, though, is if I don't do what you're suggesting, don't get annoyed. I don't mind people, suggesting and stuff like that, but generally I just do whatever I'm going to do. I'm sort of a bit stubborn and obstinate like that, but yeah, if you want to suggest something, that's no problem. Frostpunk, yeah, I play Frostpunk. Frostpunk's a good game. I didn't find it as difficult as people said. It was a bit weird. I think it was because I was expecting it to be, absolutely hardcore, and it was more. I don't know. I failed on my first attempt, but second and third attempts, I just, won it. It wasn't. I didn't think it was hard as such, but I did think that people had probably sort of confused the moral choices side of it with hardness, if you see what I mean. So it does ask you to make tough moral choices, which I could see why people would say was hard, if you see what I mean. But I didn't think in terms of those actual choices they were necessarily difficult in and of themselves, if you see what I mean. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. Oh. Have I not done enough levels? Oh, I wouldn't be able to do the next one though, will I? No. Okay. That's a little bit annoying. Let's put a couple. In fact, I put that the wrong way around, didn't I? No. Took a few tries, but I got there. Yeah, I say. Yeah, so it's sort of. I'd just say I found it more. It's giving you difficult things to do. Make decisions on effectively, rather than like morally difficult decisions, rather than actually, hard decisions as such. But I did also think that because because it sort of gives you a really harsh thing to do that's like really beneficial, or something that's maybe a little more difficult for you to manage. It's difficult to explain without you playing it, sort of thing. But what a mess that is. Oh, go on, it's only temporary anyway. Put one in. In fact, why am I even bothering with the second stack? Let's just leave it. Okay. It's too far away, isn't it? Yeah. I think maybe if I just offset the actual labs. I've made some good progress on Ixion as well. I showed some quality of life stuff here and there. Just saw it when people die. I never one of those games, but it pisses me right off. 6 population game, city builder. Yes, you also have to control the population. Oh right, I didn't know you have to do that. The problem is that the devs keep throwing in artificial difficulty just to spice things up. Try to build your setups along the equator so you don't have to mess around with the radio population. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Yeah, I should do, but I'm terrible. What I tend to find is on these early planets, I mean, I don't actually think it's too bad on this one, but the equator often has a lot of water on it, specifically, so I usually wait until a stage where I can just, basically landfill the entire planet before doing proper designs. I did actually, I mean, I've got boatloads of blueprints. I can never remember to get a blueprint. There it is. So I've already done a whole load of like blueprint stuff, but I don't know. A lot of them are based on planetary logistics, but I kind of think I didn't do it in the right way, and that I was building specific, like that's a logistics thing to build magnetic coils and stuff, but oh, what's that? Oh, it's probably using the second level machine or something, is it? But say I think I should have done something a bit more modular, where it's like I'm not making very much progress here, am I? Where let's see if I can't do it here, maybe. Yeah, I sort of should have built them a bit more modular so that you can just place down a planetary logistics thing and then feed the resources into it, type of thing, rather than attach the machines via a different blueprint. But when I was building them, they'd only just done the blueprint system, and you couldn't. It was this thing, where you hook up belts, you had to leave like gaps. It wouldn't overlap belts basically when they first introduced it. So they're all redundant, and I've had the same feeling with Satisfactory, where their blueprint system, because it's you know, it's like pushing it to do a modular system, and that's fine. I mean, I'm not actually necessarily a huge fan of how they've done blueprints, but I'm going to wait until, you know, the game is final, I think, because the trouble with modular blueprints is you have to keep redoing them. If they make a tiny little change, like they've said they want chemical plants to be blueprintable, well, that means they're either going to have to redesign chemical plants, make them smaller, or change the size of the blueprint template, and it's like, well, that's a lot of faffing about. If they make us, you know, if they just make it smaller, you've got to redo your entire blueprint set. It's probably make some bugs. See how much soil pile do you have? Oh, I don't know offhand. I can never remember where it tells you either. Is it? It's in here, isn't it, somewhere? Or in that? Oh, there we go. 235,000. There you go. Always left the way to go in this game. Don't even use really use blueprints for this. Oh, right. You just copy and paste then, or? Okay. Where are we going to put this titanium build? So this is the thing, because, you know, we need to build here. So I could landfill a whole big chunk of it, but I don't know, I found the landfilling a bit boring, if I'm honest. Let's just leave it for a minute. So I need the plastic, don't I? Let's have a look, see. Because I need to make the organic crystals, which is plastic, oil and water. Okay. We've got plastic here. Oil somewhere close by as well. There. And water. So, could build it sort of here, I guess. I'll just extend this up a bit. Are these full now? Oh, they are. Okay. Yeah, let's build it here and then we can take the belts that way. I like the little hop they introduced on the most recent update. That thing where it automatically does the bunny hop over the belts. I think that's really a nice little quality of life touch, that one. Oops. Oh, I'll try it as well. So you only really need one by one functions raised around. Yeah, you mean like doing this basically. So someone I was watching the stream. Why have I put that backwards? But they showed me this, that you can do this flip whole path now, which is awesome. That was in the latest update as well. Why is that not? Oh, it's because it's already. Okay. So if the plastic was going up there, I need water. Water. Cool. For which I therefore need some pumps. one pumps in. Now, am I going to split this? I'll do a second line. Yeah, let's just use a second line, I think. Could do with something burning hydrogen, really, couldn't I? Because these are quite backed up now. Okay. Let's do a second line coming out here. Put that up a little. Believe it was some feature too. I've played only Oxygen Not Included. Yeah, I played Oxygen Not Included as well. I have not played it. Someone was asking me this before, and it's one. It's like I'm Steam's like most, like, what's the expression I use? I'm Steam's most, so Valve's like most ideal customer, because I buy games with like that I've got no time to play. Having a backlog of literally hundreds and hundreds of games, I'll buy, you know, even more. So I've had Oxygen Not Included for ages. I can never remember how quick these are. It tells me on here, doesn't it? So it reduces 55 a minute, so it's just less than 1 a second, so 6. Well, 7 I guess. Should feel about 2, 4, 6. Ow, that's annoying. Maybe I turn them round. Put them there, maybe. That's not looking very straight, is it? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, somebody can't count. Yes, so I've got Oxygen Included. I literally played it when it first came out, and basically haven't played it since. It's on my big list of, you know, backlog games and ones that I really do want to have a go. And like, you know, I was saying earlier on that Industry and Shapes, I've got all of them, but, you know, not played them. I actually got a Steam Deck, and they're all installed on there because I think they'd probably be quite good Steam Deck games. Have I played them? No, they're all just sat there waiting for you to play. Yeah, so I'm Steam's best customer, I think, or biggest sucker. Right. Where should I put that? If I start here, maybe. In fact, let's leave a little room in case I have to try and squeeze one in. And then this is orgasmic crystals. Is that all the right stuff? I think so. Ooh, did some weird stuff with the belt there, didn't it? How much do they require? So 6 seconds to make, cracking, and 2. So the limiting one is the plastic. So we're effectively getting 6 a second of that. So that would be 3 crafts. So in theory we could do like 18 of these, so we could do way more than we actually probably need. Don't know why I did that. So that would be, because they take 4 seconds each. We would want 1 a second with 8 machines. It'll take 4 seconds. So 8 I don't think we're going to do that, are we? I'm not ferrying enough titanium to make that practical by hand. So I would need 8 machines. So in theory, as I say, it's 8, 16, 32. Wow, I don't think I'm doing that, but... and then what would I then need for these? So if I was trying to do that, I would need 4 of those a second. They take 6 seconds each. Wow. 6, 12, 18. We would need 24 of them. Okay, maybe I'll scale down the ambition for now. Let's build 2, 6 in a row. I can maybe think about that later on. Let's start a multiplayer game this week. You mean of Oni? I didn't know you could play Oni in multiplayer. Fun fact, now that those water pumps are down, you can cover HTO with foundation and stick water. Oh, they do that. So that's Factorio does that as well. You can leave a water pump there. Is there a way now of like digging foundation out? So as in creating water or creating lakes or something like that. Where am I? Oh. Oops. Some output. Hopefully that's not too close. I've lost them again. No. Is a Steam Deck worth it? I thought about getting one. No, okay. No, digging out water. It's a good idea to keep some sort of stake on your home planet. Okay. So, is it worth it? I think it's really good value. It's surprisingly powerful. I mean, it's not, you know... I mean, well, I say that as someone who desperately needs to upgrade their PC. So not really a you know, a comment I could make in a way. But I say it's surprisingly powerful and, you know, sort of surprisingly effective at what it does. It's very, like a normal PC, it's very compatible with all sorts of things. You can output to your TV and your monitor, and you can plug mice into it, and, you know, there's loads of docks you can get. However, for me personally, the biggest issue is it's too heavy. And I don't know if that's because I've got wimpy arms that, you know, a child would be embarrassed by. But it's too heavy. And I can only hold it without resting it on something for about half an hour. And then my arms start to ache. And it's not heavy. It's not like it's, you know, a brick or something. But it's like it's dense, basically. It's all packed in really tightly. And I find it just too heavy. It's worth, and I would say, if you know someone who's got one, or you can, I mean, they don't really sell them in shops, do they? Or you can, you know, just pick one up, basically, and see whether it's comfortable for you. Then it's well worth doing that, because, as I say, I was staggered by how heavy it is. I mean, unless you're playing it with it plugged in, it sort of self-compensates, because, I mean, unless you're playing a sort of a, you know, a sort of a relatively low performance game, the battery doesn't actually last that long anyway, so, you know, you couldn't really play it for, unless you're playing, I don't know, some 2D, you know, roguelite or platformer. You know, it's not going to last for 6 hours or something. It only lasts for a couple of hours if you're playing something that's a bit demanding. So there's that. You know, so you're not going to be holding it for days on end, hours on end. But as I say, I was like first time I tried to use it for any length of time, I couldn't hold it for very long. You know, I was like, well, I'm going to have to lean this on a pillow. And you're then in the sort of territory of, well, how portable... It's meant to be a portable PC. And how portable is it really if you can only, you know, use it, you know, by resting it on a pillow sort of thing. So yeah, that's my sort of complaint with it. It's not the most comfortable. As it happens, when I have used it, I have a little, you know, a chair, and I can put a pillow on my lap, have it rest on that, and watch TV, or have TV on the background, or YouTube actually, normally, in the background. So it's okay, but I say I wouldn't, you know, I wouldn't say it was really portable in that sense. But yeah, in terms of it as a sort of a thing, I think it is, you know, quite an achievement. Are they going to be too close? Oh, we're out of reach searches. £1.65, yeah. So yeah, I suppose if you can find something that is £1.65 and sort of, you know, hold it like a Switch for an hour or so and see if you find that comfortable. And I say, I'm not saying sort of saying that very much from the point of view of that might just be me, but so I was really surprised how heavy it actually was. And I say, it's not, you know, you can hold it for 15 minutes, anyone can do that, but you know, if you're trying to hold it for a couple of hours, so I couldn't do that without resting it on something, basically. But yeah, I mean, the screen's nice, and, you know, they fixed it. Originally, the fan was like really loud, and they sort of fixed that quite quickly. So yeah, it's, you know, they're supporting it well, and loads of stuff is compatible with it now. You know, with, you know, specially adapted and stuff. I mean, you can play Factorio on it as well. I think you can play this. I'm not sure if it's got an official control scheme, but you can download controller schemes, and I know a lot of people use it as an emulator, and because it's, you know, Linux, you can just sort of download the, you know, the popular emulation programs. I'm wondering whether I go right the way around or there. I just sort of jerry-rig it around here, and I think I'll do that actually. Right, so let's go this way. Pop down to here. Oh, go on. Everyone loves a bit of spaghetti, don't they? Across there. Do I want that? Yeah, let's do that. And then flip this round. Doop. Oh, okay. They sorted on the first assembler, then copy the assembler. It was placed sort of normal. Must have been some sort of update or something. Do you mean like the copy and paste like that? Let's bring some around here. What else do I need for that? Oh, it's the titanium, isn't it? Okay. Let's just put a box here, maybe. The thing I would say that I don't particularly like about this game, and it's not that it's bad as such, it's more I have a general problem with music in games, and the music for this goes a bit like the track that's playing at the moment. It might be too quiet on the stream, I don't know, but it's like mega epic music, and it's like a bit over the top. So one of the things I really love about Factorio actually is the soundtrack, and I know if you know, people, not everyone does like it, but I don't know, it's a really weird sort of angle to oh. Oh, I've not got any. But yeah, it's sort of it's songs, and this is it's one of the things so it's a general complaint or general issue I have with games where, I mean, particularly like RPGs and stuff, there's just continuous music, and it just sort of winds me up a bit. I tend to listen to songs rather than just sort of background, if that makes sense. In fact, let's put a chest down, empty all of this rubbish out. Can I pick all of that up? Yep. Put it here. Like so. Grab that. Did it not really show how you did it, to be honest? Oh, right. So, all I did was just hold shift, left click, and that obviously does your copy. And then it's just a drag, and then I'm hitting tab, because tab gets your spacing, changes the spacing. And it cycles through, and then back. So it puts them further apart, and then puts them back again, sort of thing. And so that's the sort of matched up distance. I usually sort of put the machines down and then put the thing on top of it, so that I can do that. So that what I try to do is avoid missing the gaps you need for the power poles, and I'm always forgetting the power poles. Right, let's put another one of them on. So hopefully that's a belt's worth, yeah. Okay. So this is nowhere near enough yellow cubes, which I've now researched, I think. So I can put it on here. Cool. Cool. Right, so we need the diamonds. Now, question is, do I steal them from the whatchamacallit? Do I use... Because I'm still using the old oil recipe, and I'm not burning hydrogen, so it's not really producing. So we do a little thing to burn a bit of hydrogen. I'll switch over the recipe. What do I want to do? These are quite big patches, so it'd make some sense, wouldn't it? I'd rather do it separate though. Have I got another coal patch somewhere? Coal, there we go. Oh, there's one there as well. Why have I only got one? Oh, it was because it was a off spill, wasn't it? Okay. I'm turning that into graphite. Okay. Yeah, let's just set up a new one then. What the heck? Let's treat ourselves. Didn't know how the tab affect the spacing. Oh, right, okay. I do like these clouds they've added in. I think it's quite good. It's a little weird how they've done it from because you can't see them there particularly, and then they just sort of zoom in and appear and disappear when depending on what angle you're looking at. I think they're always there. They're just not, you know, lit as it were. So it comes across a bit random. Okay, so let's mine this up a little bit. Where are the miners? There are the miners. Can I fit? No, I can't fit that on there, can I? Because the other stuff's in the way. Let's do it. Yeah. What's that? 2, 4, 5. And the last one in here. Give us a couple of lanes. Cool. Can never remember the diamond recipe. I think you smelt it, don't you? Yeah. So it's 2 to 1. Or rather, 2 seconds to make one, I should speak English. So 2 seconds to make one for that. Okay. And then this one requires, well, in theory, if I was making 8, which eventually I may do, I would need 8 lots of that. So we would need 16 smelters making diamond. So what's that? That would be, that's 15. So I do that. Oops. Okay. Isn't that going to be multiple belts worth? No, because it takes 1, doesn't it? Looking at the wrong recipe. Oh, yeah, looking at the wrong recipe. Yeah, it's just the 1. You can always put high level belt on. Okay, let's do it around the other way. So if that's the output, that's going to be the input. And then, no, other way around. Flip up path. And then we need to make carbons. Now is that 1 to 1? It feels like I've done twice as much as I need there, but we'll see. Oh! Infinite factory! Exceed a total energy consumption of 1 terajoule. Lovely jubbly. Oh, it's only half. Okay. And they take 2 seconds to make, so... Okay, so we'll only need 6. There they go, there they go. I think I've got the maths completely wrong on this, haven't I? It's alright. So it does need to be the other way around. It's alright, I mean I'm not producing the organic crystals and anything like the volume I'd need anyway. Oops. Okay. So you're making the diamonds, you're making the graphite. Like so. Okay. I've missed one up there, haven't I? Why is there a gap in that? Okay. fact, let's run a bunch of turbines down there. See if we can't connect everything up. Turbines. Your turbine. Medium factory. Reach a total power generation of 100 megawatts. Feels like that's backwards. Those two achievements. You'd think I would have generated it before I could consume it, but I guess it's talking about joules of energy, isn't it, rather than watts of power. There. There. Cool. Let's see how bad my maths is. Because these take... Because they only take 2 seconds to make, don't they? So 12 of them will fill a belt. 3, 6, 9, 12. So it's more than a belt's worth. So there's not really much point in this. Okay, let's do that. I think that's the bit of the maths I got wrong. Okay. We now need to send these all the way over here. Maybe if I sneak them past here. My belts are the wrong way around, aren't they? I should connect it to that one. Okay. Let's see if I can just quickly sort of fix that. And not too horrendous way. Oh. Wait. Oh, it's... Okay. There we go. And then I think I'll just go up a level. We're coming in this way. There we go, down to ground there. Oh. Must be horizontal. Endpoint must be horizontal. Okay. I've said in previous playthroughs, it poses these conditions of, you know, endpoint must be horizontal and all that sort of stuff. And then if you just build it and then sort of build round it, as it were. In fact, why am I doing the straight line? Let's just go on a diagonal. That's better. And then up a level. It just lets you do it, sort of thing. It's a bit sort of... It gets all a bit finicky, is it? A bit fussy. And then it'll just let you stick the thing on anyway. Or, you know, do what you were sort of doing like this. If I delete this here, it'll probably just let me connect it now. There you go. But it wouldn't let me do that when it was sideways. Oh! Core energy will deplete soon. Blimey. Let me get over to my refueler. Crikey, ran out of juice. Ran out of juice. can't I make big boxes yet? Oh, I can. I should have used them. Okay. Let's make some of them then. How are we doing it? We'll go and get some carbons. Chicarbons. Your carbons. Yeah, so if I chop that off. Oh, got no room. Okay. Where's my big uns? There's my big uns. I haven't given this new system a go either, the old new version of logistics with boxes. Have to try that in a bit. Okay. Are we making yellow cubes? No, we're not, because I've done something stupid, haven't I? I've not turned the belt around. And this is just trapped with this. Clean that up. Chop that off. Okay. Why is nothing coming up here? Oh, it's not finished, that's why not. Right, we'll do this. What time is it? 5 o'clock. Okay. And then we'll go and do a bit of a round trip. Have I? Because I could swap out an upgrade for inventory, I think. Yes. Let's just do one. I like it does this. It puts the percentage on, even if you just put it in, and it sort of started it. Yeah. It lets you tell which ones you were doing. Basically, it's a lot easier. Oh, structure matrix. Oh, that's the other one. Structure on 8.10.52. It's one of the 5 source codes that maintain the operation of the center brain, and this is the greatest breakthrough in the history of material science. The advancement of structural technology is a driving force for the continued development of industry. I said before, I think they need to get it retranslated. I think maybe because sometimes it's not quite a clear translation. But you can get the gist. You can get the gist. Okay, are we making any sort of yellow cubage? We are making yellow cubage. Okay. I am pleased. Right, so let's pop down a chest here. Or two. Next to our charging point. Put as much as we can in there. Carbon accepted. There, and then we'll do a quick round. Well, quick. We'll do a round trip. Off into space. Right. Let's find where we're going. 2-4. It's a very long way away. That way. 5.1 AUs. Well, there we go. AU astronomical unit. This is between the Sun and the Earth. Yeah. Let's have a look at what upgrades would be most useful. Because that's purple. So Mecha Core is going to be quite useful, isn't it? If we're doing a bit of flying around. And that's always useful, but 1,000, that's expensive. That is expensive. Hmm. 1,200. Yeah, okay. Just leave it at the one then. I don't think I'd bother bolstering up the production for the Yellow Science because it's, as I say, it's sort of, at the moment I'm ferrying everything back and forth, so really I would need that one, which is on our list. Or have I not put it on the list? Why is it not on the list? Oh, because I got to do that first. Okay, so we'll put that on. And then thrusters we already did. Yeah, we've done reinforced thrusters. So we should be able to add that, yep. Because they're quite cheap then with the yellow, which is clearly deliberate. And then we need that bad boy. Gas giants. How are we doing? Cool. I still haven't set up any proliferation, have I? The level 1 stuff never seemed that worthwhile. I mean, it is beneficial, particularly for science, I guess, but you know, you're burning like a single coal for basically every pot of it that you get, and it's quite a poor return, I think. Because you get 24. Is it 12 out of that? Yeah. 60 out of that. It's the blue ones that are the real benefit. But yeah, maybe we'd set up proliferation, but I come back, but I'm thinking we really need to start making bots so that if I can actually use all this logistics, we need to make all that stuff, which is where we need lots of silicon as well. I wonder what blueprints I actually do have. Oh, can I not bring up that? No, I can't, can I? Nearly there. So I guess before I crash into the planet, it'll be the regular schedule next weekend, hopefully. I have to go to a conference. Bang. On the Friday. But it is just in London. It's not a massive distance away or anything. I'm not flying or anything like that, so it shouldn't leave me too exhausted. It's going to be hard work though. All day. Thankfully I'm not presenting though, so there's that at least. But yeah, should be okay to stream the normal days, Saturday and Sunday. Might actually be in a position to not work at the weekend. What a treat. What a treat. My boss said, he didn't intend it, he just sort of badly phrased it, but he said something that was very, struck me as being sort of very Orwellian, very sort of 1984 or something like that, or Animal Farm maybe. Because basically, essentially I'm trapped in doing what I'm doing with massive amounts of required overtime until something's submitted, so something's delivered. And that's due at the end of March. So basically, I'm, fixed in. Or should I take some silicon as well? I'm locked in until March, and I can't. I mean, I wasn't planning any holiday until March anyway. End of March. I was going to take some time off, because there's a game conference I go to in London, and I say sort of the way he phrased it was because he's basically said I can take. I mean, I don't know how it would actually work, but he sort of said you can take as much leave as you want after this is submitted. So it came out as a bit sort of like you can have as much holiday as you want so long as it's in 2.5 months' time. So long as it's in after March, feel free to take as much time as you want. And it's like, that's a bit it's a bit of a harsh thing to say. Holiday is cancelled until a time that suits the company. It's a bit sort of like let's say a bit Orwellian, bit 1984. You can have as much time as you want so long as it's in 3 months' time. So he didn't quite mean it, but it did strike me as a sort of a funny offer to make. Dooby 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 doo. I can make them now, can't I? It might be worth setting a little bit of that as well, just sort of for personal use, because we've got loads of hydrogen from the oil. In fact, yeah, let's do that when we get back, because they're way better to use them than the carbon, because these are like 200% generation with 54 megajoules. And that's only 50% gen, so the hydrogens are 4 times as powerful, basically. And 54 is what? 12, 24, about 5 times as much energy in each one. I don't think they stack as high, they only stack to 10 or something, but yeah, let's set up a little bit of that now that we've got a decent amount of sort of titanium knocking around. I love this, that you can sort of see the planets and I say they orbit around and stuff. I know the gas giants do sort of have a sort of a fake gravitational effect, but I just love flying around the solar system. It's like a really cool thing. Obviously scales are all completely bonkers, but or completely wrong, but it sort of feels realistic, even if it's not actually realistic. I wanted them to introduce like remote viewing of planets, but I don't think they've ever done that. How far are we? 2 things. Supermagnetic field generators. I did wonder when it came out whether they actually based the star clusters on the real galaxy, because it says, it kind of implies they have, you know, as in the real Milky Way. But I think it was just badly phrased, because I think it's just random generation, because there's too many black holes and, you know, neutron stars, or I think there's too few neutron stars, aren't there? But yeah, I think it's random. But I wondered if, you know, you could find the, you know, bang, particular nebula or something like that. But it's just RNG. Where are we going? Stand there. We are going. Oh, so I wanted pins, like you, because you know you got the North Pole and stuff. If you could put pins in the planets, it would be hugely useful. The only way, you know, so you could say, right, well, here's my. I mean, the labs are obviously usually easy to find, but you know, if you're doing smelting, you just got, these are all identical and they're really difficult to see. So if you could just put a pin in and sort of say, you know, this is my carbon, you know, building area. Where am I going? I'm going. Where's the? Oh, over here. Okay. Yeah, I quite like pins. This in here. Oh. Wow. Right, and then if we take some of this hydrogen, how best to do that? If I put a little splitter in, maybe. What did I... Oh, silicon I put over here, didn't I? Yeah. Let's put all of that in. Refuel that mech. Grab all of our stuff. Okay. And then... because it'd be nice to have it up here. Yeah, let's put a little splitter into this area here. I haven't got any splitters, have I? And let's put which one in? Probably that one, if it'll work, because that's probably, oh no, that's okay. No, upper level please. There you go. And then we want to make sure, come on, come on. Can I not set priorities on? Yeah, there we go. Input priority. So the output priority needs to be that one. Right, so make sure that there's hydrogen going to the cubes, and then so let's go up a couple of levels and perhaps come over to here and then back down. Oops. Like that, and then have a line come out there. So, is that powered? Yeah. And then just a little machine here. Actually, let's move it over a little bit. A little machine there. Hopefully that's not too close. No, that's fine. Saw tree. Little machine. In fact, probably better if this is over here. If I can do that. Yep. Yeah, and then we can have box, another box. In fact, let's put a fourth one on. I've lost it now. There we go. Fourth one down, and put that in there. Have that stacked to 4 or 5, probably better. And you can make some hydrogen. That needs to be a higher level inskirter, doesn't it? Inskirter ++. Right. Why do I have... Let's take that out. There we go. So that'll be a bit better. Still got that random carbon. Okay. Bum's going down. Right. What next? Why are you not? Oh, it's blue. Okay. Oh, that's because of the machine speed, isn't it? Have I done? No, I haven't, have I? Nah, let's just leave it. Let's just leave it. They're very pretty, the cubes as well. When you get them flying around on belts. Really bright. Bit oversaturated, the game, if I'm totally honest, but it does work. Okay. Are we going to do another trip? Ah, I could mess about with them, couldn't I? Right. Logistic distributor is greatly convenient for Icarus picking up items. Set up logistic distributor on the storage. Put in logistic bots. Then they can transport items to Icarus on the same planet or other logistics distributors. To implement distribution to Icarus, you need to set up a logistics distributor. Logistics distributor, set up items. Check. Distributor Icarus, okay. Logistics bots and make sure there are iron ingots in the storage. Set up a logistic list. So I mean, it could really do with a better translation. Iron ingot. Lower limit. Oh, it's like Factoria then. Upper limit. Yeah, it's like Factoria then. Filter is not set up. Guest filter. Go to recheck. Firstly. Okay, yeah, it's very similar to Logibots in Factorio then. Now, how do I build one? Like that. How do I build these? Okay. So I could start producing some of these higher level things, couldn't I? Ah, first processor. It's popping achievements. I've played the game through a couple of times, but it's popping them because they introduced achievements while I was doing my last playthrough. Let's just stick with carbon until that's full, I think. Right. Ah, deuterium. Excellent. So does that mean... No, you get them separate, don't you? Okay. That's been added. I don't know when that came in. Especially their version of coal liquefaction. Which is cool. Deuterium fractionator. Spray coater. Okay. Might add some things to the bus. I've sort of got to where I was thinking we would get to a lot quicker. So still half an hour on the stream. But I was thinking that the yellow cubes would be the end point. So I might as well just do some bits and pieces. I can play about with them now that I've built a few. But let's just extend these out for a little bit. Excuse me. What's up? IS hats. Is that what you call them? The logistics things? So I've not used them before. They came in a recent update, and I've not played with them. So let's go and see. So it's reading it, not the greatest explanation, but reading it sounds like pretty much like Factorio, but the Logibots in Factorio. Let's have a look. See. So that's the actual thing. Cannot work, item filter is not set. Okay, so we can put the actual bots in there. Guest filter. But this must be the filter? Here we go. So if I wanted it to bring, say... I would need another one, wouldn't I? Because otherwise... Well, actually, if I just dump my stuff in just to test it. Right. And then provide and collect from Icarus. Okay. Now does that mean... Do I set something on Icarus? No. Maybe if I set the filter to iron? I don't collect items. Why is it not bringing me the iron? Does it only work if you've got the filtered item in? No? just got that one. How do I... Where's the charging panel? Oh! What happened there? Oh, it's flipping through options. Provide to Icarus. But it's not doing anything. Turn on auto on this item. Turned on. Well, automatic replacement start opening this panel. Turn on sample. The amount of this transport unit. Insufficient logistics ones. Why you know ambering me? What was the... Is it G for that? There we go. Let's read that again then. Only distribute a set of items in it. Click distribute to check by file. Put in logistic box and make sure there are iron ingots in the storage. Oh, I have to do something on my inventory. Ah, I've got to do a request. Okay. Okay. You what now? There we go. If this isn't set, so they bring me all that, which is fine. If I turn that off, oh, it has to be. Right, so it's like a per item thing, is it? So if I put the silicon in there and put a thing on here, whatever it is, 550 or whatever, like that, and they're not going to bring it to me because it's not got a filter set. Oops. If I put it on silicon, oh right, okay, so it's like having a, okay. What does that do? Oh, I see, that's flipping between, okay. Huh, interesting. Yeah. Okay. So that was updated that you may not know. You can stack storages on splitters now. Stack storage on splitters. You mean... Get some of this lovely go juice in. Right. I have to think about that one. Because I could put them on all of these, couldn't I? I'd have to build a load of them. And then they'll bring stuff over to me. How many slots do I actually have? Is it literally just... Yeah, I've only got that many, haven't I? I wonder if that gets extended, if there's an upgrade for that. Oops. Where might that be? Let's see. Maybe it's in the inventory thing? Inventory upgrades? Oh, there, one column of logistics capacity. 2 logistic stacks. Okay. So you can get an extra row, or column rather. Meaning you don't have to use sorters to get things into storage. Yeah. So don't use power on blah blah blah. Oh, right, okay. Quick question, because I don't know it well in Satisfactory. When do you unlock better power than bio? You can unlock... oh, crikey. I can't remember what tier it is. It might be tier 3. But when you get coal and oil, they're far better power sources. Is it phase 2? It might well be phase 2. So I have to live with farming for leaves of wood. Very early game. Yeah. You can compress it though, so if you... I think you get this technology immediately, but you can produce... I was thinking of them as like logs, basically. But you can basically compress the like leaves and stuff, because you can actually make that, which you can feed into the biofilter from like organic waste or organic stuff, because you can, if you kill the beasties, kill the... oh, I'm flying. If you kill the aliens, you get these well, they're like organs basically, and you can convert them into biofuel basically, and it's a much more efficient way of doing it. You have to go out and farm... oh, that bell's not in. You have to go out and farm the animals a bit, but you get loads and loads of it. But yeah, coal and oil is the thing. Biofuel pods, that's them. Yeah, and you can automate all of that, so it's then basically you just chuck a load of organic stuff. So it might be that you don't get that recipe until a bit later maybe, but I seem to remember you get it like from the beginning. And so you just go out and kill a bunch of hogs. Then you get enough like biomass type stuff to just build it a few times. You can't load it into the one you get on the actual hub. You can't load it in there, you have to hand feed that. But the actual machines you can automate. In fact, you can't automatically feed it into the actual... or can you? I can't remember now. Well, since I did that side of it. Right, so I guess in theory what I should do is build a load of the hats. How many can I make? I can make 23. Okay, I think that uses up... well, what am I actually running out of? I guess it's probably them actually, plasma exciters. Some excited plasma. No, you can't. Okay. It takes a long time to make by hand. Power can't be 100% automated to a car. Okay. But yeah, so you can get it into those biofuel things and then put a load of them in. And they're quite cheap to make. I seem to remember the actual biofuel like the bio burners basically. It used to be a pain in the bum because they used to be a liquid basically. You used to have to what are we waiting for? Oh, circuits. Yeah, you used to have to do work with liquids basically, and it was a bit weird and strange and stuff, and they changed it all, and they're just these like log things now. But yeah, you can make a load of them. They'll stack up. Put them all in a a container, and then just fill up 10 biofuel burners, and you'll be set for ages. Because say the actual biofuel machines are relatively cheap. What are they? So really I need to get making with the old processors, don't I? That's annoying. I tend to prefer to make them en masse, you see. Maybe what I should do actually is try it out as if it was a You know, Factorio logistics system, maybe. So if I set up a machine, would that work? Might work. Might be weirdly expensive though. I'm doing that thing where I'm thinking things and not saying them, aren't I? What should we do next? They're quite cool, quite fun, them geothermals. They're a pain in the bum to place down. What do we want? I suppose we should work towards purple, really, shouldn't we? Because that's already on our queue. Yeah, let's work towards purple a bit more then. So, we've got processors. We need particles, which are high strength. Okay. There we go. I'm going to stick proliferators on as well. Yeah, but I'm thinking maybe I just set up a little production area because I kind of need to make, you know, bots and stuff. I'm going to start actually, you know, building these guys and the actual planetary logistics systems. Do they deliver across the entire planet? I guess they must do because it didn't have that thing the planetary things have of setting the angles. But yeah, I could just set up a little production of these guys, you know, just like 2 machines or something, and same for the particle containers, because we're getting into this territory where I kind of need to build them with planetary logistics, really. Can I make any of them? No, of course I can't. But it's 10 to 6. This is why I'm umming and erring, because I'm not sure I can be bothered. I think I'll just do some ferrying back and forth. Let's go and get some materials and stuff like that. Oh, right, hydrogen. Okay. Why is that? Because it's all going into science, okay. Oh, and there's not very much oil at all, is there? I don't know. It's just difficult to see. Okay. Right, we'll dump it all out except for carbon then. Okay. Put the top hat on top. Phase 3, yeah. It's better than just stuff in it. It's because I only got around 11 hours in it. Yeah. Oh. Lost the chat then. Yeah, try to automate the biomass for sure. No, you can't. Yeah, it takes a long time to make by hand. It does indeed. Power can't be 100% automated. Coal, I read all that. Okay, so yeah, but you can put leaves and wood into an auto crafter because it takes a long time to craft by hand at the fuel for sure. Okay. Yeah. So I say a better solution is the old. Oh, of course, it's building them still, isn't it? Is the biomass from the hogs, but yeah. So if you just set up some chests, containers, have them feed into an assembler making the logs, and then have that feed into another container. Then you'll soon get a stack. And then, as I say, I usually set up like a silly number of the bio burners because they're actually quite cheap. And if you set, say, 10 up, because it doesn't. Bio burners are the only ones where it like auto manages. You might be able to connect me on that TFG and GNG, I can remember. But all the other power sources nowadays, they just burn at their like max rate. But bio burners, unless they've changed it or I've just misremembered, they only use what they actually consume. So you can just have them sat there full, and it'll only actually burn what you need. You've got a chainsaw. Oh yes, but yeah, chainsaws is great as well. That's really makes it easy to collect stuff. And it's sometimes worth having, depending on where you are on the map, you'll get different stuff. So you'll get wood, leaves, petals and stuff. And if you set up different machines, processing each into the biofuel logs, then you're basically sorted then. The problem with coal is it's only in certain places basically, and you have to go and find it. And it can be, if you're in the first, like the basic stuff, because it has different starting areas, and if you're in the first one, there's like coal really close by. That's one of the reasons it's sort of a bit easier, but some of the others, the coal's quite a long way away. H2O, yes, yeah, you've got a coal near water, yeah. Yep. Or the other way around, I guess. Stick the coal on a gigantic belt and take it where you need it, where you've actually got water. Bang. Right. Up north. So I'll just do a couple of trips back and forth to sort of round off, I think. Oops. Might actually put them in. Cool. No, wrong button. I would do the thing where you hold it, but I always remember a time when I managed to drop it all in orbit, and it was an absolute nightmare. Go. Right. So up to speed. Swaps he out. Oil's quite good for power because you can make loads of fuel out of oil in Satisfactory, and turbo fuel's quite a good recipe. One of the things I don't like about Satisfactory, and it's because I don't like that type of gameplay. Full stop. It's not necessarily a commentary on Satisfactory. Is in order to do the overclocking, you have to collect the slugs. I mean, you can do the thing where you tame a lizard doggo, but that seemed massively inefficient. But you have to collect the slugs, and I've never been that much of a fan of collecting games. I don't, when a game has collectibles and there's achievements for doing collectibles, I just sort of don't bother. It's just not something I hugely enjoy. And it has two types of collectibles. So effectively there's the slugs, but then there's these crashed pods which have hard drives in, and they're a way of getting sort of different recipes. You research the hard drives. And again, it's sort of... the pods are even worse because you often have to put things in them or connect them to power or something. And it's just annoying. But a lot of the alternate recipes are quite... Some of them are complete junk, and I don't understand why they're in the game. But a lot of the alternate recipes are quite awesome and help out. But it's this thing again, I don't quite get Satisfactory's, Coffee Stain's determination to make you do everything by hand. The resistance to put in blueprints and stuff like that always seemed a bit weird to me. I guess part of it is because they've just got the one map, and I think their intention is you just play the same game effectively. Because bang. You don't switch between or restart the game or anything. I don't think that's what they're intending. You just build your factory. One of the habits I have found really difficult to get out of from Factorio, and this as well, is that resources are infinite in Satisfactory. If you've got a miner, you can get stuff. There's no limit to the amount of... Well, the SAM ore might be limited. We don't know, but it's just really hard to get out the habit of putting things in chests and keeping them for me. I just always stick them in chests. Degree of exploration, yeah. And the mycelia. Yeah. But yeah, I say it's not a type of gameplay I like. And I suppose in a sense it's optional. You can stick with the default recipes. But I say some of them are, alternate recipes are just so way better, or make things way easier. And there again, it's hidden behind a randomization. It's not like you can go to this particular crash pod and get this particular recipe. You just get an RNG chance of getting a useful recipe. I'm guessing their intent was to push you to explore, because it is fun. I do enjoy exploring the map and getting the little, cool areas, and like finding the giant mushrooms and all that sort of stuff. Getting killed by the spiders, and I don't not enjoy the exploration, but I just find being forced to go and find things in the game a bit tedious. Okay, I keep hitting the wrong keys. Let's see. If we restock that, wait to charge up. I think we'll grab some silicon this time, and I might just stick it in a box over here. Can you put the hats on these things as well then? Oh, you can. They must have been intending that from the beginning, because that looks exactly like it was entirely meant to be on there. Okay, it's got the interplanetaries. Okay. Just make sure I'm at full juice. Yeah, if the start of a name Factorio runs out at the start or before it trains, it's kind of annoying getting more iron. Yeah, I mean you can set it so that it's so big it basically never runs out, but I never really, because I quite enjoy playing with the trains. Unlike Ultimate Plays, I don't know if you're still there. That sounds like you're not a fan of the trains. Or controlling the trains anyway, I guess. I know. But yeah, I never really sort of struggle with that side of it. I don't know. I know people do, but I quite like setting up train networks and stuff. That's something that could do with improvement. The track system. I really like the trains in Satisfactory. They're sort of a monorail system, and they look awesome. And it's quite a nice way they've done the stations and the fact that power goes down the tracks and stuff. That's a really great idea. And I like how, in a sense, clever the trains are. That you don't need to do a lot of signalling or anything like that. They're quite clever. But it could have done with it could do with some improvements to the actual track laying, because I don't think I've ever laid, well, until recently, and I sort of worked it out, I never laid a straight piece of track in Satisfactory, because they do a spline finding thing, and it just always it ends up, particularly when you're doing a long straight piece, you get a tiny little wobble, and by the end of the track it's doing this, and it's like, I'm going to have to relay it all now. Because you have to do it like very regimented way, like doing particular straight sections and lining it up exactly on the same bit. I mean, it doesn't matter. The train will happily wobble its way down the track. It doesn't slow it down or anything. But it looks awful. Don't have wireless, is it? No. I haven't even bothered with trains and Satisfactory. Have you not? No, I literally, that's what I just unlocked, I think. There you go. No, I'm getting a bit ahead of myself with the research. I've not built a lot of the stuff that I've unlocked, so I need to, that's what we'll do next time, I think. We'll start building some planetary and international. I'm going to do that again, aren't I? Interplanetary logistics stations. So let's get some silicon. And then we can really start things motoring. As I say, I might explore, in fact I will. I'll make sure to build using the logistics, the new logistic thing. Where's a power job? On the top here. Yeah, it's interstellar they call them, do they? I always call them international. Interstellar, yeah. But yeah, next time we'll set up production for, I'm not going to make like 1 billion of them to start with. We'll build up to that, but I need a bit of production of the, whatever it calls it, high strength titanium, the CPUs, the thrusters, the plasma things. I've not made any of them, and I should have. I think we're into the territory where I've got lots of blueprints, so I might start just using these. Have I got any good ones in there? So yeah, I've got loads of engine ones and stuff like that, so if I can get some of them up and running, make life a bit easier. Looks like I've stopped before I've really got to the good stuff, doesn't it? Because this is all pretty much basics. I wonder if that was me just running out of steam doing it. So I think modular ones is the way to go, where you just have an interplanetary one, and you can then build whatever you want around it, rather than entirely new blueprint for a slightly different recipe. Right, let's head back again. Okay. Where's the sun? There we go. I guess we could have a look at Chew 2, or 3 rather. See what that's all about. But yeah, I think that'll do for today. I need to go and do more work because hooray. Right then. I'll also try and put myself a list of them bad jokes together so that I don't have to look them up. It's that thing of when you know, asked to remember something, you just can't remember it, but, you know, any other time. I'm guessing this is just a brown lump. Barren desert. So it's probably a red lump or a grey lump or a brown lump. No water, I would imagine. It's barren. Looks like a grey lump. Oh yeah, it's a proper nothing type planet, isn't it? Good for building on though. Okay. So let's have a look at my... Oh, okay. So I need to buff that anyway. Right. Okay. Oh, quite. I just saw her then. A bit lucky. No worries. Always appreciate the likers. I myself am a liker. There's a lot of streamers I watch who I don't chat. It's a bit embarrassing. Well, as a British person, everything's embarrassing. It's sort of our default state, but I just find it a bit sort of... it's difficult getting over that barrier, isn't it? The sort of saying hello barrier. Especially when you're as mean and horrible as I am. Right. Just land on the planet. I don't want to go blasting off into the sun. Not that it damages. I actually wondered that, because I normally just crash into planets rather than try and actually land on them, and you just bounce off of suns. So I wondered if because there is actually damage on the, like there's a damage thing somewhere. I think it's durability, is it, where it's meant to be a damage. So that's obviously related to the combat update. But I did wonder if they'd make it so that, I mean, it's not really fall damage, is it? It's sort of crash into planet damage, which I don't know what that counts as. But I wonder if they would, you know, going to add that into it. If it is, I might have some problems, because I'm not the greatest pilot in the game. Right, bang. It does make me right juice. Wonder what exactly would damage whatever it is, 60-story mech that can crash into a planet and survive. I wonder what sort of weapon can do any damage to that sort of machine. Right, let's go and land here, and then we'll do the old outro. Oh, and then thank you for the hydrate as well, just to end off. Let's see if I can't. I'm going to get some backlights and stuff. I've decided I am going to upgrade my stuff. Oh, come on, you silly game. Here we go. Pop that on there. There we go. That's better. Yeah, so I'm going to get some back, because it caused by the inconsistent light, that because the sun sets basically, and well, I'm going to get some curtains as well. The luxury curtains, eh? Yes, so Watchplay helps me avoid losing weight, so getting stuck in it myself. Sacrifice. That's no problem at all, Crash. Yes, so schedule, be back next weekend. I shouldn't have any problems. As I say, I am going to a conference on the Friday, but it's just in London, so I might be a bit tired. But I'm not going to be flying or anything like that. So, I will be back on the Saturday, playing some Factorio. Where am I? I'm still working on building up resources for Bob's Mods. What I really need to do is expand the walls and expand defences, and properly tech up and produce the higher level combat stuff. But that's going to be quite boring, and I would rather do that off stream, just putting ammo in chests and stuff. What I could do is set up a bot network and get it automated, except for combat. That would be tricky to automate because I'd have to build capsules and stuff. But yeah, so if I do get some kind of miracle that happens, I will do that. So we will be in a position to actually build some stuff. If I don't, we'll probably just expand the smelting rather than go out and get any more resources in by train, because as I say, I would need to do a lot of biter killing basically. But yeah, then we'll be back with Dyson Sphere Program next week. I will build all of the logistics things, so ILS and planetary, and might try and do the gas giant, do that as the next tech. But I'll get all that set up, and then I can start using the blueprints I've got to sort of expand production and get things really moving. Yeah. So I think that's everything. So I guess the other thing to say is my YouTube channel. If you wanted to catch up on this series, or my Bob's Mod series, my aesthetic series, what else we got? Aesthetic Factorio, there's the Blueprint series, that's seemingly quite popular. I don't quite know why. I guess people just search YouTube for blueprints. But there's also a whole load of other Factorio series, and my Satisfactory playthrough, where I steadily get more and more annoyed at how boring the game is becoming. Yes, so that's it for me. Oh, I suppose the other thing just to mention, I'm trying to mention, is I put a text file, and do virus scan, but do be safe, don't just trust it. But it is a text file that has all of my blueprint library in for Factorio. So if you were wondering, if you could get at all the stuff I've been building in the blueprint series, then it's all in there. It's all just as one blueprint book, so it's gigantic. But that gives you access to everything I've been building. And it does have lots of mistakes in it because they're not final, they're not ready. But if you're ever wondering or wanting to get hold of those, then they are available there. Yes, so that's it from me for this week. If you have been watching, it's very much appreciated. Thank you for doing so. I completely messed up my outro again, haven't I? If you have been watching, I hope you've enjoyed it, and you might consider coming back for another one. I've been Trismegistus. This has been Dyson Sphere Program. Thanks for watching. Cheers. I might have my tongue in next week. Tongue in gear by next week. Cheers all.